What up? There it is. There it is, folks. That's Church of Eight Wheels. That's my intro. It's my intro, my outro song, Church of Eight Wheels. I always love to jam out to that song. For me, it sets the tone right. It sets the mood right for these market updates. TA can be a little bit dry sometimes, but we like to add a little bit of fun. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm, of course, Big Cheds from Twitter. You probably know me from there. This is going to go into the playlist, which is quick market updates on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to be really active lately. In general, I'm pretty active. I'm always on Twitter. I'm always putting out chart ideas. I've got a ton of educational stuff because I have studied TA professionally. I did CMT. And what I do is I teach Japanese candlestick theory and classical charting. And, you know, I've got these Masterclass tutorial playlist videos for you if you want to get started and understand how to set up your chart, you know, how to use moving averages, you know, the difference between an EMA, you know, an SMA and stuff like that. So I've got just like a huge library of educational content. And I hope you enjoy that. Of course, and not of course, but I have published 4 books. I'm super proud of that. I'm actually working on more books. I'm working on a poker and trading book. That's coming up. But since I have my new book out, which is called The Trading Journal, this is why you should use a trading journal. Essentially, you know, every time you lose money in a trade, there's some value left over, a lesson to be learned. The residue of any failed trade is you know, the lesson of what went wrong. And you want to take back that value. Here's why you should use a journal, what goes in it, the different parts of it, emotional management, good trader habits, sample trading journals, the story of a trader, and also blank pages for you to fill out. This is a workbook. And since I have a new book out, I'm making my 3rd book free, the Trading Quotes playlist. I was just talking with someone in the chat who said they're almost all the way through. I will do the entire book for free. Super proud of that. Check that out. Of course, if you're looking for an exchange, check out BingX, my favorite exchange. You can see the link in the video. Bitcoin's under a little bit of pressure. We'll talk about that in just a second. But you know, why am I so active this week? Why am I streaming so much? I did spaces yesterday. I've been spaces, a bunch of spaces this week, a bunch of YouTube streams. And you may be watching me right now on Twitter, so welcome. Folks who are watching me on Twitter, you just run over to the YouTube channel, and you can join the chat room. I'd love to hear from you, take your questions. Those who are listening, get your questions ready, trading questions, chart questions, you know, stuff you want to look at. It's the Bitcoin Live 7th anniversary sale. We've just over 2 days left. You can join the best team in the world that studies crypto for just $97 for 3 months, which is insane. I'm a founding analyst. I've been doing the reports here for 7 years, and twice a week I look at the market in full. Every Wednesday, every Sunday night. I haven't missed that in 6 years. So definitely consider checking out Bitcoin Live. That's why I'm so active this week. What's up, Influence, Martwan, Psalm Capital, Caro, Gilbert. Chat room is filling up. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Keep an eye out. I'm doing a stream tomorrow with somebody else. I'm doing a collaboration tomorrow. So I think many of you have been waiting for that and will be excited to see that. But get your questions ready. I'm going to just riff a little bit. What's going on with Bitcoin? So last night, you know, this morning I woke up to 106K and a double inside bull break, right? We had 2 inside bars. I put out the tweet last night. I put out the tweet yesterday here, daily now 2x inside. So we had some price compression where we had 2 candles. This is classical charting. This is inside that, completely inside the range of the prior candle. And this is inside this range of this candle, double inside, and a bull break from that. Normally, you get a decent signal from this type of a double inside, but honestly, we're in a kind of a sideways choppy market, and it's the same. It's the same thing with like moving averages, right? Like moving average crosses here don't mean anything, like the 8 crossing the 20, the 8 crossing the 20, everything's sideways, right? So in sideways markets, these techniques are less potent but it's still a little bit notable. We had a pretty strong bounce from that, and then it's given it back. But to put it all into context, starting out here on the weekly chart, we still have price above an EMA 8, right? We have price above our EMA 8 on the weekly, which basically just means strength, right? EMA 8 is primary uptrend support. When the price, EMA means exponential moving average, more price weighting to the most recent candle. And we now see the price above the EMA 8. It's still holding it on the weekly. So anytime you think, oh, there's a big dump, you want to get some context, because on the weekly chart, well above the EMA 8, daily chart, well above, 100K, which is the next major level below, and then 96K. So really the picture hasn't changed too much on the daily. You really would have to drop down to like a 1 hour, maybe even a 4 hour to kind of see, anything with this. But generally speaking, there's not much to do from a trading standpoint until we drop to like 100K. So we're kind of waiting there. I'm watching to see, if the price can continue to hold the daily MA 50. Let's just jump in here on the 1 hour. So yeah, there's your tower top on the 1 hour, right back to local support. But big dump, great, but you're right back to essentially where you've been, right? You're right back to essentially where you've been. Plenty of support in this range. So a little bit of a local fake out, trapping boredom traders, trapping people, maybe even playing the double inside bar break, because it's actually a reasonable trading technique to take. For example, you would take a long, and more conservatively, you would take a long on the break of the first inside bar. But we still, again, want to step back and put it into context. It's price above the weekly EMA 8. And for me, there's not much of a trading setup until we tag 100K. I see Bilal has showed up. What's up, man? You're so kind, man. Dropping the massive super chat. You folks don't need to do that, and thank you. I really just, the way to show your appreciation is to continue to show up to these streams. When I do spaces, show up and ask a question. I love to hear your voice. I love to talk to you. Just contribute. I feel like these days there's so many bots, on Twitter. And so interacting with humans is preferred. And that's how you can show your appreciation. But I love you, man. Thank you, Bilal. That's super kind of you. Let's see. Didn't even ask a question. Bilal didn't even have a question. This is the kind of man he is. So Bilal's a good dude. All right, a couple questions like Solana. Solana, not much has changed. Somebody said a funny response to me on Twitter where I put out the replay. I said replay available for the video. And somebody on Twitter said, I disliked the video because you didn't cover SOL. Well, I mean, what's there to cover really? SOL hasn't really changed. We're watching to see if it holds 140 support range. It's generally still holding there. And it's in between the 140 and 180, level above. So there's not much of a change here in Solana for anybody who had asked. Psalm says, happy Friday. What's up, brother? So let's see. We got a bunch of altcoins to look at. But I'll immediately go to the ones that the people in the chat room are requesting, okay? Again, if you're watching on Twitter, what's going on? Head over to YouTube, hit sub, and you can just, drop a message into the chat room. And I'll take a look at Robinhood too. So Doge, it's not great. It is not great. We're seeing this story in many charts that had initial break from the consolidation. We had the descending supply trend break, some type of a lower high break for the 2-level filter. In this case, it was turned back around 24, 25 cents. And it's given back, these gains from breaking out of the range. We're basically right back to support. There's no reason to be bullish on this chart. There's no reason why it doesn't drift lower and test support. I generally do not like Doge. I will check Ethereum, Jaden. I generally do not like Doge at all. This is a pretty bearish chart, to be honest. Now, it's interesting. I saw a message from my dear colleague, Bob Lucas, who said he's never been more, or he's really bullish on Ethereum. And I thought it's interesting to me. I'm incredibly cautious here. I'm incredibly cautious on Ethereum, and I continue to be cautious. And of course, above the 2150 level, is a bull thesis, but the price has paused here on the advance into the 2750 range. And we see again, and now we have just 2 days left, another heading towards another small body in the weekly, right? Heading towards another indecision candle after an advance. All this local price action, local meaning, recent, is cautionary. This looks like a setup for a tower top. Remember I just showed you the 1 hour Bitcoin, right? Look at that. Look at this 1 hour Bitcoin. See this? Big move up, sideways candles. Look at the weekly. Look at the weekly Ethereum. It's kind of the same setup. So for me, it's hard not to be cautious and not to kind of keep an eye on a retest, maybe of the middle of this candle, which lines up with that 2100, 2150 range. Todd says, I will join Bitcoin Live today. Thanks for the show. You got it. It's a great. I am just super proud of the team. I'm dedicated to Bitcoin Live. I literally haven't missed a Wednesday, Sunday report in 6 years. Even when I'm traveling, I'm sick on vacation. And I try to give the best of what I've got there, full market report. And it's just not just my stuff. You get access to the entire team's work. So please do check it out. As you said, Todd, let me know what you think. And when you sign up, what I like to recommend to new members is go back and see how I've covered major market moments in the past. Go and see how I've talked, how I had covered the price action up here, the 2021 top, how I covered the price action down here. At the bottom here in December of 2022, and take advantage of that. Take advantage of the fact that you can go back and see how techniques have worked in the past. That's going to help you in the future. Psalm says he's pulling the trigger also on Bitcoin Live today. You got to do it, buddy. I'm legit, and it's not just me. This is the best team in the world that studies crypto, in my opinion. I'm super proud of it. So you'll definitely enjoy it. Thank you. Influence says, do you guys ever do a collab session together in Bitcoin Live? Not so much, but I'll tell you, I have done interviews with some of my colleagues. If you check out the long form interview series page, I've done interviews with both Peter and Bob, even Trader Main too, who's not at Bitcoin Live, but I've done Peter and Bob. I've got interviews with them. So in terms of collaborations, I have done a little bit, but we generally have independent analysis at Bitcoin Live. And I like the fact that I don't need to check with them before I say something, right? You get real, and we don't always agree. We certainly don't. We see the market in different ways, and I think there's great value for you to get in having that independent analysis. Martwan says, some of my messages disappear. Well, are you writing them in invisible ink, Martwan? Let's see here. Somebody wanted to know about Robinhood, and then what's your question, Martwan? Maybe I can answer it for you. So let's take a look at Robinhood. Somebody asked about Robinhood. I mean, it's beautiful. I believe I've covered it this week. This is just a remarkably bullish chart. There's not much to say. There are no warning signs. You have price above a rising EMA8 and this is just a very tight ascension or price rise. Certainly any kind of a drop, any kind of a retest of $64, $65 range, would be a level of interest for sure. Okay. Question is, Primal, what role does volume play in validating Bollinger Band breakouts or squeezes? So you can use Bollinger Bands a bunch of different ways, and there's a pure technique where you just use a squeeze. But for me, a few things. So Bollinger Bands are excellent for, great question. It's just excellent for using Japanese candlestick signals. And again, I go over this in the Masterclass TA tutorial playlist. So for example, a hammer candle, if we drop here and have a hammer candle here, that'd be a good signal. A hammer candle at the lower Bollinger Band, right? Because a move down, maybe even breaching the lower Bollinger Band, represents an overextension of price action. And a hammer candle there would mean more than a hammer candle in the middle of the channel. So you can use Japanese candlesticks with Bollinger Bands, right? Like a shooting star up here would make much bigger than whatever this candle is here today that we're working on, right? You could call it a shooting star, but it wouldn't really make sense. It's in a sideways environment. You'd want to move up, and then a gravestone doji or a shooting star at the upper Bollinger Band. I tend to use volume not with the Bollinger Squeeze itself, but with the candle. So again, I'm applying like the volume of the candle in candlestick theory tells you how important that candle is. It tells you how much weighting, how much importance it has. So again, to use the example of a hammer, if we have a price move down and we have a hammer candle in light volume, it doesn't mean as much as if we have like a very big volume spike with a long lower shadow and we get a hammer candle. That would be a strong suggestion of a price pivot and really should suggest you're going to push at least back to the range peak, something like that. Because again, and again, all Japanese candlestick signals are short-term. They're short-term signals. Let me roll around in the chat room. It's great to see everybody. And those of you who are watching on Twitter, warm hello and thank you. I've been super, super active this week. I got a ton of streams for you to watch because of the Bitcoin live sale. Make sure you're watching all that stuff. Let's see. Gilbert, do you think someone would have success with trading just by reading books, even without taking CMT course? Absolutely. I took CMT because I wanted to step up my game. I wanted to know what was right. And the thing for me is I had so many people, I read textbooks, but I still had people saying, look, well, this is the rule of thumb. Oh no, this is the rule of thumb. And they were conflicting. I heard a lot of people conflicting, a lot of big accounts, a lot of people I respected, and I needed to know for myself what was right. So by studying CMT, I learned professional technical analysis, and that's what I teach you here, candlestick theory and classical charting. And CMT, because I needed to step up my game. I take my role at Bitcoin Live incredibly serious. I'm CMT level 1 now. I'm actually, reading the CMT 2 book right now. I'm actually having trouble in the cycle theory section. I got to really, that's the thing, is it pushes me to learn techniques that I don't use. So it just pushes me to have a good all-around skill set and to know what the exact right answer is. I try to be academic. I try to be as precise as possible. So you may not need CMT, but it certainly would help you if you want to take it to the next level. That being said, my works, my content, all this educational stuff I have for you, a lot of it is from CMT. I'm teaching you that professional TA. So I don't know that you would need to necessarily go through CMT itself. Salaheen, can you give your thoughts on, I think I looked at BOME yesterday. Didn't I look at this one yesterday? Someone asked me about it. It's just a garbage chart. BOME's terrible chart. So hopefully you have no money in this. This looks really, really bad. Failed to hold here at 0.0017. What is WLD? I remember BOME was bad. WLD, okay. Wildcoin. It's not. These are bad charts. Salaheen, why are you asking about? These are just terrible charts. BOME and WLD. You should have zero long exposure. You should have zero money in these charts. These are downtrends, likely to go lower. You need to train yourself to ride a trend if you want to be long. Like, this is a fine chart if you're looking to take a short. If you're waiting for it to bounce and you want to take a short, that's fine. But this is not the kind of chart you should be, thinking, oh, I'm longing this. This is absolute trash. Terrible, terrible chart. If you're in it now, I would sell and delete it from your watch list. Just a really bad chart. Really, really bad chart. I'm almost sad that these are the two charts you requested. Salaheen, Tamid. Really, really sad, honestly. How do I take this offer when I already member? Victor, it's for new members only. Brother, there's a once-a-year sale for new members. Even at regular price, like Bitcoin Live is a great deal. So this is just for new members, not for old members. Don Pro says, thank you for the freaking market updates. You're welcome. Can you take a look at Coin? Yeah, I'll take a look at Coinbase. Take a look at Coinbase. Maybe we'll look at the SPX. Take a look at equities markets. They are open right now. Warm hello to everybody watching. Hopefully you're doing well. I mean, Coinbase is a strong chart. We're going to go to the weekly chart and we see what's happening, right? We see what's happening pretty well. Very large price base. And since Coinbase's inception, back at the, circa the 2021 top, it's been unable to break out of this range. Now, we are seeing some local mojo here. So we essentially saw the break of this level, and we've seen some local mojo with the descending supply trend break and a local lower high break. Okay, so that is certainly good. And so the price is looking to challenge these all-time highs. This is a pretty good looking chart. Held here on the weekly throwback to the 150 level. We'll zoom back in now that we've set the table here. Is it potentially, overextended here short term? We shall see. We shall see. Could you do a bull flag? Could you, a bull rectangle, a bull pennant? You could do any type of a bullish consolidation here. I think you'd want to position yourself to buy the dip if you do get a drop back into that 260 range. So generally a quite nice looking chart. How many days would it take to identify an up thrust versus a breakout? Well, that depends on your confirmation method, Gilbert. So the thing with confirmation method, what confirms a level, okay? So the question is, like, say you have a price level, it goes back above, and then say it's back below, okay? That's an up thrust. It's a failed breakout. But what about this period of time, right? How long does this mean? Is this a day? Is it a week? So if you can watch the chart all day, if you're day trading, you can confirm a breakout or a breakdown on like a 1 hour candle close, or even like a 4 hour candle close. Salaheen says, I'm just buying and holding. But these are Wild and BOME are not buy and hold charts. These are sell and delete from the you don't buy and hold this. What are you talking about buy and holding? If you saw a plane crashing, would you try to get in it? What do you mean you're just buying and hold? You don't buy and hold these. These are downtrends. These are terrible charts. If you're going to buy and hold something, buy like Ethereum or Bitcoin. Or like BNB or something that has like a chance to go up over time. These are trash. You got to take some more responsibility, Salaheen. You got to have more respect for your money. You don't get buy and hold this stuff. This is trash. Okay, back to what I was saying. I'm sorry. That kind of bothers me. It's okay. It's a bad chart. I'm buying and holding. No, you don't. This is terrible. You have to respect your money. These are downtrends. These are going to go lower. Play something else. Save your money for an uptrend. So for a breakout, okay, and how do we know when it's broken out? Well, if you're watching closely, maybe for you it's a 1 hour close. Maybe it's a 4 hour. Maybe it's 2 4 hours. If you can't watch that much and you're trading on the week, say you're trading in the weekly chart then, so your confirmation method's probably like 1 weekly candle close. So it's not how many days. There's no 100% answer. There is no like definite answer of what you have to do. It's based on your risk tolerance, how aggressive, how conservative you are, and how much time you really have to watch and monitor these things. Okay. Sui just looks bad. Influence. It still looks bad, but it is at a clear level, a clear delineation level. What you might say is kind of just a line in the sand level is where you really, really want to see it hold. We saw the price weakness up around 380, 390, failed to hold 360 where you wanted it to. And I've been eyeballing this level for a while, 270, 275. If it holds here, it's quite reasonable. But should the price fail to hold here, I think you really want to back away and downsize your risk on this one. Sebi says, always interested in listening to what your thoughts are. You're welcome. Folks, thank you so much. I'm super active this week because it's the Bitcoin Live sale, 7th anniversary sale. Hopefully, many of you folks have checked out, recently I put out the free version of my trading quotes book. I'm really proud of that. So check that out. I'm also recording the audio book for the trading journal. People like that book. It's doing well. Are SEI and Vanry also delete from the watch list? Big G wants to know. SEI. I'm pretty sure it's a bad chart. We'll take a look. Okay, we'll take a look at SEI. Yeah, this is a pretty bad chart. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I don't know. I wouldn't be holding it for sure. This looks really bad. There's just nothing to like about this chart. It's a pretty strong downtrend. So, delete from watch list. It's right there. It's right there in terms of deleting from the watch list. But I would certainly not want to have any kind of long exposure in this chart at all. at all. Let me just quickly bounce around and take a look at equities for fun. Looking at the SPY here. Back to the MA20. Let's take a look at the weekly. Again, you want to go outside in. You want to set the table. Weekly chart is quite strong. Price above the SMA 200. We see this window or this gap here. We'll see if that comes into play in the future. That should be support for now. And are we putting in a lower high? Are we putting in a lower high? We'll see. We shall see. There's certainly danger of that given the strength of this move off of the bottom, potentially lower high, then a higher low, maybe here, higher low. So we'll zoom back in to the daily chart. Some suggestion of a consolidation beginning. EMA 8 starting to flatten out and roll over. Price interaction with the SMA 20. And you can see right here, it's a pretty big level right around, 57.50 on the SPX. Look at dominance, grinding higher, huh? 65%. A lot of people have been wanting to call top in this. And I've been debating them a little bit on Twitter and saying, no, not so much. And a lot of people have been calling top in this for a while, all year, and even into late last year. And I think it's because people, I think it's just because people want it to be altcoin season. And that's the case. Do you shift your strategy more to shorting Bitcoin and alts during bear markets? Gilbert says. Well, I'm not shorting Bitcoin at all right now. It's an uptrend, right? We want to short downtrends. Now, if Bitcoin for sure is in a downtrend, like if it loses, for example, the weekly, MA50, if it loses 88.5, then I might start to look at shorting on bounces. But right now, I'm still looking to buy dips for sure in Bitcoin. And we've got levels pretty well marked out. This 3-day here, go to the daily. Levels are pretty well marked out. I keep drawing the same levels, so should be no question or mystery rather of where I'm watching. But for sure, altcoins I would be looking to short. Many of them that are bad charts that bounce, like Wild or whatever that garbage chart was. Like if this bounces, it would be a great short because it's downtrend. So I'd be targeting downtrends to short. We're nowhere near a bear market, and also that's just a narrative. It's a term. What does it really mean? Martwan says this is a cycle without retail. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they're in the pump fund stuff. They're in other markets. Maybe they're not playing as many traditional altcoins. Maybe they're in meme coins. We shall see. But it is an interesting market where it does feel a little bit dead sometimes. Where my replies on Twitter, and thank you humans who are watching, my replies on Twitter feel like 90% bots, 95. That's why I love doing spaces. I love to hear your voice. That's why I enjoy doing these YouTube updates. It gives me a chance to interact with you. So GoBuck Circle, there's nothing you can do for TA. I'm a TA guy, right? I'm a TA nerd, a price nerd. There's no TA here. You asked me to look at Circle. What am I supposed to look at? And I'm not like trying to be like short with you, Goku. But what should I do with this? You've got like 11. You got like 10 candles, or not even, right? 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles. This one's not even formed. There's no TA. You can't use TA on this. I'm gonna need 6 months of price history before I can do TA on this. And that's the whole point, is you need price history to use TA. Whole idea is you want to identify a trend and you want to take advantage of a move against the trend so you can define your risk and take a trade. And that's really what it boils down to. Okay? So, all right, this has been a nice little chat room here. We've gone on pretty well. We've had a lot of nice questions. This will go into quick market updates. All right? I'm streaming every day this week. I'll stream tomorrow. I am doing spaces yesterday. I'll do a space in a few hours, probably middle afternoon today. We'll see how many people show up. If you folks show up in the spaces, I'll talk as long as you want. I'll talk as long as you want, but we'll go from there. I'm super active this week. Bitcoin live sale. You just got like 3 days left. You don't want to sleep on this opportunity. Wonderful guidance, wonderful education. I give the best of what I've got to Bitcoin Live every Wednesday, Sunday night, full market report. Even when I'm sick, traveling on vacation, it's been 6 years since I've skipped a report, and that was even like one day. You know, I did it the next day. So consider checking that out. In the meantime, start with all the great free stuff I have, right? Free version of my third book, free version of Trading Wisdom, TA tutorials. Just kind of soak it up. If you're looking for somewhere to trade, check out my favorite exchange, Bing X. You can see the link in the description for the video. So folks, thank you for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate the vibe. I appreciate the well wishes. Thank you, Bilal, again as well. I appreciate the super chat, not necessary. If you want to support me, just show up. Those of you who are watching on Twitter, thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Thank you to all the humans watching me. You know, if you want to join the convo next time, just go to my YouTube, hit sub. You can jump into the chat room. But folks, thank you so much. So we're going to finish off here with the Church of Eight Wheels, and we're going to jam it. All right? Folks, thank you so much. Let's do it. Peace out, everybody. Thank you so much.